This is Art Walkton, Director with Conklin from Mount Vernon, Ohio. And with me today, Duncan Hogue, a Sales Director, also from the Croton, Sunbury area. And we're visiting with Brett Piper, a new sales manager as of today with the Conklin Company. He's also a farmer and raises several hogs. In fact, the barn we're standing in has 2,415 or so hogs, and they've been on the Conklin program since 11th of November. And we're going to discuss a few things that are happening and see what Brett has to say about them. Brett, we looked at a carrier here that had 3 or 4 bottles of medication in it, and a FASTRACK tube later was put in. Explain that a little bit to us. Tell us what you're doing and what's the difference between now and then.
Well, to start with, at first, we used to use what the company recommended, which was the 3 or 4 bottles that you saw in the carry tote there. That's what the company used to recommend us using, and once we started using the FASTRACK, we've kind of eliminated some of the extra medicines that we've been using. We're down to actually one type of medicine that we're carrying, but we're pretty much mainstream using the FASTRACK liquid dispersible. And as far as the treatment strategy with the hogs individual, we're following up with the ruminant gel, which is really providing the best source of treatment in my mind.
Okay, Brett, I think we wanted to say non-ruminant, but that's all right. Well, I know what you meant, and it is the non-ruminant gel. You've also got a bucket of FASTRACK liquid dispersible up there, and you've been using that since 11th of November, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what have you seen for results on that? Just say, for example, in the death loss, where are we at there?
Oh, a tremendous difference. I would say our death loss is way below normal. We used to average about 3 to 5 hogs per week on a death loss average, and right now we've probably lost 2 pigs in 3 weeks. The overall quality of the hog is a lot better, and we feel that our herd is healthier by being on the liquid disposal.
Okay, the other thing that you mentioned earlier, I believe, was we put on clothes here, different clothes to go in the barn, and we understand that, and you do the same, but you used to tell me you used to have to change clothes every day because of the discoloration, the manure, etc., and so on that was on the clothes. And the pair of pants and shirts you've got on today, you've worn how long?
I believe almost 3 weeks now.
And they're not really dirty. Why is that? What's the difference? What do you see the difference?
Is mainly, as far as what I can see overall as herd health, the hogs seem to be a lot more, I guess, docile, a little bit easier to maintain, not so much as rambunctious, a lot more pleasant to maintain, and as far as overall quality of taking care of the herd is a lot better.
Okay, I believe last I talked with you, you were using the liquid dispersible through a medicator.
Yes.
5 days in a row and then off 2. Are you still on that schedule?
No, actually we left them on 7 days a week. Overall we've seen just a phenomenal change in the hogs themselves. When we take them off of it, it's like night and day, just totally opposite of what we would like to see out of our livestock as far as the quality of them and the legitimateness of them. We also noticed a lot better feed consumption, and actually our feed intake has dropped. Same with our water, but the hogs are still gaining weight phenomenally. We've also seen less feed, less water, and a 4 to 6 pound average weight gain per week per head.
And the weight gain previous to this was closer to what?
Well, I'd say close to 2.5 to 3 1/4.
So you're roughly almost doubling the weight gain.
Yes, sir.
And using less feed.
Yes, sir.
And less water.
Yes, sir.
Do you have an amount of how much less feed you're using?
We figured our hogs at 20, roughly on an average. If it was a total of 2,500, we'd use 24 tons of feed in 7 days. We've knocked that down to where the hogs are eating 24 ton in 10 to 11 days. So on an average, we've saved the company what we would consider 8 to 9 ton of feed in 7 days.
That's quite remarkable savings.
Yes, sir.
one of the problems I know we have with hogs in this number and in the pen of confinement is tail biting and ear biting. What's been your experience with the tail biting and ear biting since you've been on the FASTRACK?
That's a sore subject for me and the hogs. Before we started using the FASTRACK, we had on an average monthly 75 on the low side, 100 on the high side of mainly the tail nipping is what we called it, or tail biting, and an average of probably 4 to 6 a week in ear biting. Once we started using the liquid dispersible, tail biting and the ear biting has eliminated, I'd say 99.9%.
And that obviously just helps the hogs feel a little more docile.
Yes, sir.
I believe you said something about if you do have to used to have to take a hog out of the pen, that you'd almost be attacked while you were taking them out.
Yes, sir.
The last time I was here, you were walking around the pen and they'd come up to you, you could pet them, but there was no aggressiveness. Is that still the same thing?
Oh, it's still the same. If you leave them on the FASTRACK, the aggressiveness of the hog is to a minimum. If you take it off, it's something unbelievable. They're back to the old ornery pig that they used to be.
And how many hours, days, or whatever does it take to see the difference when you take them off and to see them go back to being aggressive hogs again?
We'd say 6 to 8 hours. That's how.
6 to 8 hours.
Yes, sir.
That's fabulous. And then how after you do put them back on, how long does it take them to calm down?
I'd say about the same.
About the same thing. It's quite amazing what we're having.
Yes, sir.
And you've got a very minimal number of pigs in the cull pens or the sick bay, whichever you want to call that. But you mentioned something that is a little unusual to me about putting some back in the main line. Tell us about that.
We've tried to use standard protocol as far as medicine, as far as the treatment with our livestock, and we've noticed a lot better turnout with just putting the stuff in a bottle that is synthetic away, and went ahead and just started using the gel, and we've noticed at least 2 to 3, maybe even 4 days quicker response time on the hog to be able to put him back in general population, which frees up our ICU pens, if you will. So it gives it a lot better, I guess, management over the herd to have response time like that.
Okay, now we noticed one pen back there, you pointed out to us, that you've got a couple of, I think there were 4 hogs in there. One you've used your standard treatment, another one you'd use FASTRACK gel only. They both were lame about the same day, put them in there the same day. And what do you see the difference now?
Difference is a lot better result. Their wounds, or I guess their ailments, outcome is a lot quicker. They get fixed quicker, I guess the best way to put it. We put them right back in the general population. Quicker results with better results.
I noticed the one that you said been using the gel on was up and walking. The foot's a little tender, but he's walking well. He's not gaunt in any way. He seems to be well fed. And the other one that you're using the older method, using the treatment you used to use, to me seemed a little gaunt, still extremely lame, and just watch and see what he's going to do.
Exactly, and he's borderline at this point where if we were to designate him personally, probably on the FASTRACK gel, I would say he would be above issue of whether or not we kill or euthanize him or we keep him and put him back in general population.
Very good, excellent. Well, we want to thank you for your time, your generosity of information. We want you to just keep right on going.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.